Hey everybody, what is going on? So do you have a System.io blog and are you wondering where are the share options? How do I share a blog post? I'm sure there's probably a lot of people out there about now wondering the same thing, and that's because System.io doesn't have the ability to share a blog post yet. I imagine they eventually will, but they don't have it yet. So what I've done is I've gone and figured out how to add some code that allow your viewers of a blog post to actually share your blogs. So let's go over and take a look at the computer here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a blog post that one of my clients did, and I set up a share option here for her. So if you go over here and click on Facebook, there it is. It's giving me the option to share it on Facebook. If I go over here and click on LinkedIn, there it is. It's giving me an option to share it on LinkedIn. And then, yes, I want to leave. And then if I want to go over to Twitter or X, there it is again on Twitter or X. So again, this option isn't available as of yet on System.io. Will they ever have it? I don't know. But in the meantime, I do have code available, and I'll pop that into the comments below. And it'll just be a link that you can click on, and you'll be able to copy it. It'll be a Google Doc for you, and you can just copy that and paste it into a raw HTML element into your website. Here's what will look like here. It'll just be, this is going to be what it looks like here. Okay. So if we go over to my working site that I use for demos over here, I have just one of the blog templates that are available in System.io. And again, if we go over here and look at one of these top places in China, this is a blog post. And if I go and I view it, again, these are the links for your Facebook link or for your Pinterest account or for your Instagram. These aren't the share options. What we want to do is create these share options. Okay, so we want to take this code and pop it in somewhere over here so that we have a share option. So what I'm going to do is we don't need this. This is a comment. So when you're working with code and you see a open bracket and then an exclamation point and a couple lines, that's a comment. And then this is how to close that comment. And you can write as much as you want in here. Okay. So you don't need this, any of this right here. What we're going to do is we're going to grab all this. This is what we do need. Okay. And I'm going to copy that. Okay. Now, what I wanted, because the original, what I want here is a 4-column row. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want a 4-column row, and so that's what I've got going on here is a 4-column row. So we're going to go into here. We're going to go out of here. We're in our post section of the System.io blog. So what you want to do is go into post layout. In here, and this is showing desktop only. You might want to, what's the word I'm looking for, change that around depending on how you do it. So we had it set up on the other site to be up here in the corner, but we could put it right down in here, and I think that's what we're going to do. So we've got all kinds of stuff here. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to go and I'm going to grab a raw HTML element and I'm going to put it right underneath the image. Okay. Now I'm going to click into it. Oh, there we go. Going to go up and click on edit code up here in the upper left. Okay. Code opens up. Once the code opens up, you can go ahead and take this out. This is just placer text that System.io puts in there so that you know, hey, there's some code here, right? I'm going to do Control V, or you can do a right click and do a paste. In this case, I could have just done paste since I was already there, but we'll just do a Control V, and then we're in there. Okay. And what this code is going to give us now is there's the share option, and then there's the Facebook icons. Now, let's just say, here, let's save changes. Okay. And now let's go and do a view and see what this looks like. So it's not actually showing. There it is right there. So right here, this is where the image would go if we had an image for if we actually had an image in there. And then there's our share, and then there's the share options here. While we're here, we always want to make sure it's mobile friendly, right? We want to make sure it's responsive. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click on the page. I'm going to do an inspect. I want to make sure that I got plenty of room here, and that's as far over as I can do there. Let's go here and make sure, yep, okay. So whenever you're checking to see if something's responsive, you want to check, you want to click on this little icon up here. Looks like a little mobile hangman is what it looks like. It's kind of weird, but anyway. This is the toggle device toolbar. And this allows us to take this, and we want to see what happens with this as we drop this and see how that share is moving in. That's fine. Everything still looks good as we get smaller and smaller and smaller. Here, it's still there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to this drop down arrow, and I want to see what does it look like on an iPhone SE. Come on. There we go. That looks okay. Again, it's not perfect right now because we don't have any kind of a deal there. One of the things that I am seeing, though, look at how close this is to the date. We want to put some breathing room in there. Let's go back up to SE and see if it's the same time. Yeah. So that's part of the reason we've taken a peek at the mobile version. We want to make sure that everything's looking okay. So I'm just going to exit out of this, and it wouldn't even hurt to have some space between the two on the main page as well. So I think what I'm going to do, and when we talk about space, there's two different ways of getting space. One would be padding, and what padding is that's the space in between the content in the element and the outer and the edge of the element. So it's the in-between space. Margin is the space between elements, so between our column and between this date. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, just going to click on this and see right here we do have an option for increasing our margin with this. I'm going to click on this because I'm only really worried about the bottom right now. We could maybe go and see, hey, what does this actually look like with an actual picture? Let's pop a picture. Actually, that's not going to work. I'll pull in a different. We'll look at this on the live page here in a minute. But first things what we're going to do is, again, click on this. We're going to click on this margin option, and we're looking for bottom. And I think probably 10. That looks good. Going to save changes. Okay, let's go out of this one because we are in the blog post layout right now. And so we're not, when we view it, it's not a very good way of really seeing what's going on. What we want to do is actually click on top places in China. And then here we actually have an image that we can look at. So now we're going to take a quick peek at this. We're going to preview it by clicking on the eyeball. And now we've got a better idea. So same thing up here. I think we are a little close to this. Again, let's go and right click on this. And at the same time, let's do an inspect. Again, I just want to see how this is looking over here. Again, I'm seeing that it's still hugging that really close on the mobile or responsive version. So let's, and I also don't think we need this here. For me, I think this would be confusing. So I would take this out. I'm not too worried about people finding my Facebook or Pinterest. And I think what I would do anyway is I would probably pop this somewhere down in the footer. And right here, follow us. I would have that all down in the footer, or what they call the junk drawer. So let's go back over here and let's click on this again. And what's happening right now? We're not in the blog post layout. Okay, we're actually in kind of the page where we'd actually do the writing for the blog post. So we're going to click on Save Changes. We're going to go out of this, and then we're going to go to our post layout. This is where you go and tweak how things are going to look whenever you do a blog post. Okay, we're going to click into here, and again, I want to put 10 on the top margin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the mobile version. So you scroll all the way down on the left, and then you click on the mobile icon. That brings out what the layout's going to look like on mobile. And again, as a general rule, not always, but as a general rule, when you make changes on the mobile version, it doesn't typically make this, it doesn't affect the desktop version. Okay. So we're going to click on this. And if you want to change the font size, you could. So we're going to go up here to our HTML block. It's interesting. There it is. And yeah, see what happened? It didn't even, the desktop change that we made didn't even affect the mobile side. So let's click on this again. We're going to do the same thing. Let's give it some breathing room on top of the element, and let's give it some breathing room on the bottom of the element. Okay. And then let's do a save change. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to just go out of here. We're done. Now let's go into the actual page that has a picture and everything, and it looks like a template blog post. Go click into it. Okay. Now if we click on the eyeball to do a preview, we've got a little bit of breathing room here now, and I'm happy with that. Might not hurt to maybe put a little bit more, but that's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to do a right click and do an inspect. We still have our iPhone SE up, and there we are. Got a little bit of breathing, a little bit more breathing room here. I think I'm going to actually do 15 pixels on both of these. I think just adding a little bit more breathing room would be nice. So I'm going to exit out of here. I'm just going to go ahead and close this down. I'm going to go back over here. Again, we need to go to our blog post layout. Just going to go out of this. Going to go to our blog post layout. Again, I'm going to take this whole row, if I can, out. There we go. About me's fine. Let's go in here. This is not that big of a deal. All right, so we're going to go click into here again. Again, I want 15 and 15, just a little bit more breathing room. And then we're going to also go to our mobile, go all the way down again, click on mobile. Same thing, 15 and 15. And more than likely that should be good. We're going to do save changes. Going to go out. Now we're going to go back to our blog post. Going to click on preview. Let's just take a quick peek here. And if you wanted to, you could go ahead and click on the mobile version and just see what does it look like up here. But again, I like to, and that's not too bad. Let's go back to the desktop. Not that it matters. Let's click on the eyeball. And once again, let's scroll down. And yeah, I like that a lot better. Okay. So that's how you would go ahead. And again, let's just look at it. So here, if we click on this, it's going to ask me to log into Facebook. And there it is. It's asking me to log in. Okay. If I click here, it's going to ask me to log into LinkedIn. So there it is for LinkedIn. And then here, if I click on that, that's going to ask me to log into X. All right. So there's kind of at least the basics for setting up a share option. Again, the code will be in the comments below. Actually, the code will be in the description below for you. More than likely, I'll pop it into the comments as well. And then what we'll do is tomorrow's video, I'll go into what do you do to maybe change the colors. Maybe you want all these colors to match your website. Maybe you want them to all be yellow. Or maybe you want to change the font here. So we'll go in there and dive into that a little bit more tomorrow, as well as, what do you do to come up with this code if you're not a coder, right? Hint, hint, ChatGPT. So that's it for this video. If you're liking these videos and you want to watch more videos on Systeme.io, we have a complete playlist that you can go and check out. Thanks for watching.